What's going on? Good afternoon. Mic check. All right, today's episode is what I tried to do last week about the red flags for E2 investor visa. Friends, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states of America, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe even prevent it from happening in the first place. Now, folks, today's topic is red flags for E2 investor visa. This type of investor visa is not for every country, okay? Unfortunately. Uh, the easy way to remember is if you're from a communist country, you're not on this list. And this is designated by Congress through the Department of State. So we do have a free guide about this, by the way. It's on our website, greencardguys.com. Scroll down, and there's several guides, but take a look, and you can download the one for investors, and it should have, I'm pretty sure it has a list of all the countries. Now, the thing is, though, I want to share a success story. It's a great win for our team. We just got approval just yesterday, actually, for E2 investor visa. The person was an investor already through another company, and this client wanted to invest in her own company, right? So that just solo, and so she got approved on that. The government was taking a while, unfortunately, and when they take a while, then we suggest to the client, hey, do you want to pay a little more, 2,500? It's called premium processing. And USCIS will issue a decision of approval or denial or request more evidence. Unfortunately, it was approval notice. So, but here's the deal. Here's a red flag. We worked with this client diligently. We asked for more evidence, and because some clients say, "Well, I got everything. I got everything you need, lawyer, law attorney." That's great. But whatever you think is everything is typically not everything you think you need. Otherwise, right? Why are you hiring a lawyer, right? There's a lot of different reasons that I share. But we work with this client, among, of course, all the clients, to be diligent, quality control, to get the case filed in a sense that we're providing the sufficient amount of evidence to meet and exceed the standard with USCIS, okay? So we basically, if there's anything possibly negative about any case, including, for example, like marriage cases, we want to reveal it, okay? We want to be upfront and reveal it to USCIS and just overwhelm them with relevant evidence. So that's one of the red flags, okay? Well, I guess two in what I'm saying right now is one, provide sufficient. If you don't provide sufficient evidence, then you're probably going to get a RFE, request for evidence, or a notice of intent to deny, which means NOID basically means the government thinks you either have like a fraudulent case or they think this is like fly by night type of business. They want to make sure essentially that you are going to like be sustainable in a sense, even though that's not part of the standard. But if they think that for some reason you're just going to get this investor visa and just come into America and just kind of like renting, like squatters, like just squat in US, and then I don't know, overstay possibly. They're pretty good at their job. I mean, they're a little slow, but they're pretty good at their job in the sense that they can qualify that, they can verify. So you don't. Another red flag is that, actually, a myth that we like to overcome here is that you don't have to have an office. I know it's strange, but it depends on the business. It can sound strange. It depends on the business. So if your business is more of storing products or like let's call it widgets, things like that, then it could be a warehouse. It could be a storage unit. But the key thing is, or another red flag, so I'm sharing a lot of red flags today. Another red flag is if you file this application and you do not file a business plan. I can't stress this enough. Business plans are so necessary that there's a lot of vendors out there that contact us to get business, right? So we vet them too to make sure that they can help our clients. And we share a list of business vendors that help with these plans. Because, I went to law school, I had a class, a 2 credit class about how to run a business, how to prepare a business plan. And of course, at the end of the day, you don't really need the business plan to run the business, but it's obviously helpful. But for USCIS, it makes the case even stronger if you have a business plan. All right. So that's one key red flag that you need to know about. And you don't want to file your case without it. And here's the deal. I think many lawyers would love to believe that every investor that wants to have a successful, positive outcome is going to do whatever it takes to file their case properly. But we've received some calls that it seems kind of wishy-washy. It seems like some people are just like, "Oh, what's another way I can get into America?" And even if it's temporary status, then we mention that, right, for e-investor visa. But this cannot be wishy-washy. Okay, you have to be committed. All right, you have to be committed. You have to have that mindset that if you're going to file this type of case, and then you got to go through it, but not just go through it. If you receive an approval, you get the visa issued to you, and you come to America, but then somehow the business flops or you flop operationally, you just got to have the mindset. It takes a lot of grit, okay, a lot of perseverance. So we may share tips on that about running a business. I just don't have time for that right now, but I just have time for immigration related news and tips. But you really need to consider that, okay, before you even commit $1. All right. Do you have the mindset, or maybe you gained this mindset experience through your family business, or you worked at a business where you had more responsibility? You really need to talk to mentors and things like that. And some of y'all already have a business. Some of y'all who call us and say, you have a business in whichever country already, that's great. That's wonderful. But still, running a business in America is different. We have a lot of taxes, and you just have to be ready about that, because I don't know percentage wise, but I'm in a different business leaders group. Just not everyone is great with money, operating with keeping money for tax reasons. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So those are the red flags, okay, for investor visa. But of course, if you have any questions about other scenarios, maybe your own case, you're welcome to drop it in the comment section down below. All right. And the other thing, folks, is we do offer, if you're shy right now, we do offer a free 15-minute preliminary discussion. Yeah, like a consultation, basically. And when you call in, you're welcome to call in, and you can unlock those free 15 minutes. Okay. But you need to call in today, sooner than later, so we can help you. And there's no obligation to hire. We can help you. Our law firm, it's our mission. Our mission is help you live and work in America. It doesn't have to be through formal legal representation, but it'll be our pleasure to assist you. Now, the thing is, you can't call in multiple times and ask for advice every single time, right? Then that's not proper. But if we can point you in the right direction, email you a free guide about that specific situation, we can do that. We're happy to point you in the right direction. There's no obligation to hire, but it's our pleasure to assist you, to guide you from start to finish. And sometimes, I say start to finish, but sometimes we get several calls and you already hired a lawyer. In fact, I actually had a consultation this morning. Actually, not a consultation. It was a client meeting and a video call. And I looked at the file that my team worked on, and it had notes from from the details about the previous representation with a different law firm. And it was back in 2020. They filed the petition in 2018. All right. And I can share all this because I'm not sharing the details of the names and that kind of specific information. But I hope this story helps you to understand the difference in some law firms. Okay. Number one, in general, is that some law firms are not as quick to reply to you. Or they say, let you say you call in, you speak to the assistant or the receptionist, and they're like, and you say, I need to speak with a paralegal or the attorney. And you say, Or they say, okay, well, let me take down your information, blah, blah, blah. And they don't even sound like they know you. We're trying our best to remember everyone, of course, but they don't even sound like they care to know you. And they say, okay, I'll take it down. And most law firms still use paper. We're tech oriented. We use a what we call like a system, basically software, to make it quick. So if you're a client, you ask a question on these live shows. I've done it before. I hop into the system and just look for the most updated situation information. And I'll share it with y'all. Right? I can do it in like less than a minute, less than 30 seconds. Right? So can your current lawyer do that? You might want to ask. All right. You might want to ask and find out. So here's a story about the client from today. Yeah, because I didn't know the whole story until today, even though the notes were there. So she received, or they received, a notice of intent to deny, and usually for the default is usually request for evidence, where it's more like preliminary and they're asking for more evidence. But they received a notice of intent to deny because the husband is in removal proceedings for deportation. All right, and so the standard is higher. It's called clear and convincing evidence. So when that happens, the standard is higher. You have to provide even more evidence. Now, I'm not saying you got to like just dump all the evidence in there, like for the last 5 years. You don't have to do it that way. But what we do as a law firm is that we select the more appropriate evidence, okay, for this scenario. But that law firm only gave this client 3 days to gather all that evidence. I mean, some of our clients need like 15 days or more, even though we kind of ring, we call them every week, say, hey, we need this, we need that. We love to help you file your case as soon as possible, but it's teamwork. But this law firm gave the client 3 days. That is nonsense. And it turned out they got denied. And I mean, I tried to ask more questions about the situation, and it turns out the clients don't think that prior law firm filed it on time. And so this is during the pandemic. I mean, it was early on, but by that time, there should have been the COVID flexibility rule, which where you can get like an extra 60 days on that, on top of the standard deadline. Oh no. So this is just not right. As soon as we receive any update with our team, we update the client as soon as possible. Sure, it may take several hours later. We really try our best within an hour, but sometimes, we get a lot of requests, messages within the team, and even external with clients. But we make it a point to respond within 24 hours. So it could be the next day, but it's within 24 hours. So you really need to consider that. And I'm sharing all this because I don't think it will affect the outcome, but if they filed it in 2018, if they could have had that petition approved in 2020 and provided all that appropriate evidence, then most likely, I can't speculate for the past, most likely that petition would have been approved late 2020, and if not early 2021. But guess what year it is now, folks? 2023. It's 5 years after they filed the first time. 5 years. This client needs a waiver application. So you need to file this waiver after the petition's approved. So by now, not to say USCIS would have approved the waiver by now, because it's taking at least 3 years for most people, unfortunately, which you can sue for this reason, by the way. Okay, for waivers, if it's been taking a long time. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. Their process for the waiver could have been even closer to the end in that sense for a decision. Now, so I'm sharing all this because you may not have hired a lawyer at all. And you're wondering, like, which lawyer should I hire? Because there's so many of them, right? There's so many of us, and I get it. But this is one of the reasons I go on live shows, so you can understand what other people have suffered, right? And because we have consultation, some people don't, aside from the legal questions, right, for us to verify legal eligibility, our team makes it a point to share at least some of our 5 benefits. And you can go to our website, check it out. It's all client-centered approach. So go to greencardguys.com and you can see that. But that's really important to us because we want to make sure that clients understand that we're with them from start to finish. Okay. Now, if you're just now joining, welcome to the show, greencardguys.tv. We do offer free 15 minutes preliminary discussion, and you can take that quiz. Go to greencardguys.com, click on take quiz on the homepage, and or hire us. I'll take you to that quiz, and yeah, we'll get you started. Because most people also, you know, I think we have a call today that they had a consultation with us sometime last year, and then they decided to hire a some kind of notario, notary, a or a consultant. At the end of the day, it's not an attorney that has a license. Okay, and by the way, even if you do hire a lawyer for immigration, hire one that has experience with immigration. Think about it. Just because someone has an MD, I mean, I think veterinarians have MD, right? Let me see. Veterinarians. Anyway, you wouldn't go to a medical doctor who has an MD, but they don't handle that type of work, right? So let's see. I think vets, right? So okay, the title's a little different. Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. Okay, well that's good. But even if someone handles ear surgery, you're not going to go to talk to that doctor about lung surgery that you need a lung surgery. So think about it that way. So I don't know why, but some people feel like it's okay, it's a good idea, even though it's cheaper or less money. But the other thing is, yeah, if it is less cost than us, find out why. Ask questions to the other law firm. How soon can you file my case? What kind of benefits will you provide me as a client? Will you update me? Of course they're going to say yes, will you update me? What they won't tell you is to update you like a month later because they're not paying attention to the workflow. We care so much about not having a gap in communication that we have we're being more tech oriented in the sense that we try to think like a tech company to prevent any gap in communication. And so we have a support page for clients. So it's not, if you're not a client yet, you wouldn't know about it. You would have to become a client to know about it, to receive an email about this. But it's a support page where you can submit a ticket, and you don't even have to do that. But that's like the worst case scenario in case we haven't replied to your email in a timely manner or called you back. So, and we always try to streamline things to where you if you have a question, you're welcome to email us, which we share the email inbox, so you don't have to try to figure out, which paralegal, which attorneys work in my case. It doesn't matter. We love to share who it is, of course, but at the same time, we use one email, so you don't have to chase anyone. There's no chasing with us. You can find us, okay? Which, by the way, we have an office in Houston, Texas, but we have team members all across the country to help you, okay? We get the best qualified team members to help you in your case that understand customer service, okay, to give you the update. Very, very important to me. It's part of our mission, okay, and our vision in that sense. So, friends, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm just talking all about customer service now, but earlier we were talking about red flags for E2 investor visa. We just recently had a success story where we had a client approved, and the client had been waiting for like at least 6 months, at least 6 months. And then when it takes that long, we offered to say, maybe if you're willing to spend another $2,500, which is a fee to USAS, no extra cost with us, then you can get she ended up getting decision approval. But the USCIS guarantees some kind of decision or RFE within 15 business days. Okay, so yeah, that worked out. Even less time than 15 business days. And we do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion to help guide you to see if we could solve your immigration problem. Or maybe you don't think you have an immigration problem. We'll help verify that for you. We'll help verify if there's a legal pathway for you and it's free. We do it for 15 minutes. You might think, well, why? How can it be impossible in 15 minutes? It's been possible for us for several years now. but it takes cooperation. You have to share information to our cares team, the people that you would speak with when you first call in. Okay, it's confidential information. We're not going to share it with anyone. Um, but when we do share stuff, it's not with your name, okay? But it's really sharing for education purposes. But we really want to make sure that we can help you in 15 minutes. It's free, so hopefully. But if you want more time, we offer that. But you would need to pay for that. Okay, so it's 30 minutes is the next round up for payment for a fee. I think it's 149 if you want to speak with one of my premier attorneys. But for me, it's 199. Just because my time's limited, I get just being in the top seat. I have so many things to do, as you can imagine, if you run your own business or you run your own family. All right, what's going on, sir? On Instagram, you have a question. Happy to answer if I can. Go ahead and post a question if you're okay with that. Otherwise, you're welcome to give us a call and one of the CARES member can assist you. Okay, so and keep in mind the CARES team, they're not lawyers, so they can't give you legal advice, but they can give you some. They can email you a free guide, and they can help you schedule for a consultation. Now it's not automatic; they have to qualify you. Think of it as a loan process, but not that slow. It's pretty quick. Okay, it's pretty quick. Like it takes 15-20 minutes if you're okay with that to spend time. A CARES team spend time with you to ask some questions. Okay, so we can better assist you. Um, but yeah, sir. Yes, sir. You're welcome to ask a question if you're still on. Welcome. All right. So to give you all an idea, I will be out of pocket for the next week and a half, but I'll be back on a live show on 17, 18, on the 20th. Okay. March 20th. I'll be back on a live show. But in the meantime, we have tips that we're going to share throughout the week. So stay tuned for that, whether it's on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, anything like that. Just stay tuned, okay? Okay, the question is, or TikTok, by the way, green card. If you have TikTok already, welcome to follow me. If you don't have TikTok, then don't feel like you gotta get in there. But there's some interesting stuff. At green card guys _ John. Okay, your question, sir. Your ex-wife recently got citizenship. She added her last maiden name to yours with your consent. I don't know if you meant to phrase that as a question or a statement, but she got, and it's your ex-wife, so I'm not sure if you're trying to say that if that could benefit you. Uh, oh, to your kid's family name. Oh, she added her maiden name to your kid's last name. Do I think it's legal? Oh, without your consent. Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, without your consent. I think. I mean, I'm a lawyer in Texas, so this is more family law related. But I'm pretty sure for family law for name change, you need to have both parents consent when they're under 18. If they're over 18, then they do it themselves. But it sounds like their kids are still under 18. So I don't know where you live, but you might want to check with a lawyer in that state. Okay, but yeah, Florida. Sorry, I don't have any knowledge about name changes in Florida, but I probably search that family law name change. Um, maybe you can find a way to appeal it. Good luck to you on that one. Two under 18. Also, me too. Trying to figure out how to say that. I also have two little kids. Good luck to you on raising your kids. I'm always looking for more tips. All right, folks. Well, let's see here. But yeah, today's topic was red flags for E2 investor visa. So if you're just catching on now, welcome to go back to the recording on YouTube to check it out. The first part of it. But again, one last thing is, yeah, we have success stories about mandamus cases, really a lot of different case types. But I talk about mandamus quite often because a lot of people are suffering delays, and most people don't know that there's an option to sue the government. And I know it sounds a little bit intimidating because government, But hey, look, it's not like you're going to the freaking Capitol Hill and with a pitchfork. It's not like that. Okay. Usually the U.S. attorneys, for the majority of the time, U.S. attorneys are collegial. They want to work with us and work with us in a sense because they don't want to work on your case that long. They actually want to try to expedite it so that they can focus on more higher level type of cases. So they kind of like speed up the process with us, by the way. And so what happens? So the thing is, most people ask, if I sue the government, let's say USCIS or Department of State, will will that result in a denial? No, I mean it could. You could receive an outcome. It could be approval notice. It could be denial letter, or it could be a request for more evidence. But it's to push the case forward to the next step. Okay, you could be denied, but that's not because you sued the government. That's two separate things. Okay, the U.S. attorney, assigned U.S. attorney, is not gonna whisper into USCIS and say, "Hey, you need to deny this case." That's not how it works. There's due process in America, fortunately. So if a case is taking a long time, give us a call and we'll let you know. We have a chart that we follow that we've created through our experience on what is considered unreasonable delay. So if you just filed your case 2 months ago, I'm sorry, that is not unreasonable. There's a lot of folks, probably, if not hundreds, thousands of people waiting much longer than that. And it's probably reached unreasonable standard in that sense. So let's see. So you're welcome to call. We'll be upfront with you, let you know if we can help you, or maybe we'll just you check in with us, or we check in with you maybe like 6 months later to see if there's been any progress on your case. Unfortunately, we're not able to do that for everyone, but if you have an update, even if it's an approval in a shorter time frame than we all expected, great. Let us know. We're always happy to hear about success stories, even when we're not completely involved with representation. We love to hear when people are able to live and work in America legally. Okay, folks. Thank you so much for your time. So the next thing you can do is give us a call or go to our website greencardguys.com so you can stay tuned for and give us a follow and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Okay, folks. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. I'll be back live on the 20th. Take care.